All right now. Well, let's see. Am I here? All right, let's see. There we go. Hello. All right, I'm learning how to do this. This is exciting. All right, so I want to do a little knitting tonight. I'm using some massive, these are size 50 millimeter knitting needles. And I'm using some chunky yarn. And I'm going to do what they call, sorry about the jingling, but these things are metal. So it's metal on wood. Let me see if I can do this so they don't roll. So I'm going to try some chunky yarn. And I'm just going to see, I have a pattern where I'm doing some chunky yarn knitting. And I need to see, because the yarn has been discontinued that I'm using, there is nothing that I can do to like fake it. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking at the swatch and they're saying 5 stitches is 3 inches and 5 rows equals 2 inches. So we'll have to see if this works. So I'm going to see what happens. And this is a little bit of, I'm in the, what I call, this is my laboratory. And I mess around in here. I decided to use these massive knitting needles. So this is like a number, I forget what size this sucker is. It's about a number 5 or a number 6 weight yarn in the US. It's pretty big. They just call it bulky. So I'm going to take 2 of these and put them together and see what happens if I get the gauge right on this. So this is an experiment. So bear with me and thanks for coming in. All right. So I'm going to put this over here. And sometimes you have to double up on yarn to make it the right width or the right weight. So I don't know. This is completely an experiment. Okay. So I'm going to cast on about 10, maybe a little more. Maybe I'll do about 10 stitches. Hold on. Let me go down a little bit more. Yep. So let's see. Oh, I see some people chatting. Thanks for coming in. Oh, wow. Oh, Controversial Cruising. Are you back? Are you back? Hold on. I'll show you a little. I'm going to show you a little. There's Bud Files. Hello. All right. Good to see you. I'm just going to show you a little. There's a little. See that, Scott? So this is a little preview for you. Yeah. Hope you had a great week. You too. Looked like you had fun. I'm very excited. And I figure it's quiet tonight, so I'm gonna do a little knitting. And I'm messing around with this yarn. It's kind of it's a little bit of a nightmare, but we'll see how this goes. Let me put this one away for a second. But I'm gonna just try. But you see how large this is. This is 50 millimeters. If you guys know metric system, and I'm gonna just see how big this thing gets. So we'll see. But I decided I'm gonna make this chunky item, and we'll see. If it works. I don't know. We'll have to see if it works. So I'm going to cast on maybe 10 or 5. Should I do more than that? I don't know. I'm going to see what happens. So there's 3 stitches there already on. Let me just do a few more. And now this is really massively thick. Hey, aloha. Dave, good to see you. So what are you up to? Are you off work now? What time is it? Yeah, it's getting close to quitting time for you, I hope. And I hope you're hanging out with the family. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. I'll do 10. What the heck? Well, I'm living dangerously, aren't I? All right. But anyway, I've never knitted with these massive knitting needles. So I'm going to see how this works out. Hopefully this isn't too tight. I have a feeling this might be a nightmare. All right, let's do 6. All right. It's pretty loose. That's the whole thing. Whenever you start out, you have to start out loosely. So that's what we're doing. All right. Woohoo! Yep, living on the edge here with the I Bring It Every Day show. Okay, I think we're good. All right, here we go. How's that looking? That's the tail. Let me just pull that out. Sorry about that. Here we go. All right, let's see how this goes. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I did this right, but we'll see. Okay, there's one. Yeah, this is ridiculously huge. I kind of wish these were plastic. think the metal's like, ugh, I don't know. Not digging the metal. So are you back, Scott? And it looks like your trip would look like fun. Sorry, I was in the background. I'm always in the background these days. I have not been able to type. My brain's just not cooperating with the live stream. I'm trying to listen, but I never get a chance to uh, chat. You got some chatty people here, which is cool. I think it's really cool. All right, we're going to see. I'm going to do a couple rows. Oh, God. This is like a nightmare. But look how big this comes out. It's pretty good, though. And let me see if I can put something on this table, because this clanking, I really apologize. I know it's probably annoying, but this is like real world stuff here. Living on the edge. All right, let's see. Off now, cleaning up house. Okay, cool. Yeah, we just bought some food. We went to the supermarket today. So that's one row. Just want to loosen this up. It's really tight. See, this is called nervous knitting. And there is a channel called The Nervous Knitter. She's pretty good. Big channel. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches. All right, now I'm going to see approximately how wide that is. It's probably huge. Now let's see, what am I supposed to have here? So according to this, I need 5 stitches equals 3 inches. 3 inches. I'm looking at this and going, I think this is bigger than 3 inches, so maybe I can take one of these away. Yeah, that's looking pretty big. I don't know. Let's take a look. I hope I have my measuring tape. Oh, I do. Thank goodness. See, I did not plan this at all. I mean, I planned it, but I didn't really plan it. Hang on a second. Getting the measuring tape out. So this is, maybe I'll do one more row, but this is just sort of what you have to do whenever you're messing around with different yarn sizes. And I'll just show you. Oh, yeah. That's about 5 inches. Yeah, it really should be 3 inches. So that means this will be bigger, which is good because this is like a clothing item from the 1970s. And, people weighed like 2 pounds back then. All right, so this might work, actually. 3 inches. And I think I have about 5 inches. Well, let me do one more row, and then we'll see what it looks like. But that's about 5 inches. I'm going to guess. It might be. Oh, all right. Let's see. I'll do another row. Hang on a second. I'm just pulling some more yarn out. Okay, this is what you got to do. Oh, here we go. 4T, hello, and New Horizons. Good to see you. Welcome in. So I'm doing a swatch, which means you got to see like how big your. I'm using different size yarn. So the whole thing is, if you're not familiar, yarn, there's different widths of yarn or different weights. And it's really fat or thin, depending on which kind you're using. And these large knitting needles, you're supposed to use really heavy yarn. And the company, when they made this book, you were supposed to hold 2 or 3 different strands together. And I remember thinking, like, 4 strands together is crazy. But it does make something really bulky. And then allegedly you could finish this, in a day, which is the evil plan. So I'm going to try this out just for giggles, but I just want to see. They always say do a test run and see how big your stitches are. Now, I could probably knit this a little bit tighter, but I'm not gonna because I'm really, I have 2 bulky yarns here. All right, here we go. So I'm going to measure now. So I have, okay, here we go. So this is what you do. So you see the fabric, it's real massive there. Yeah, that looks good. Oops, let me stick that back on there. Did I lose that? Yes, I did. Stick that back on there. But anyway, that's what it looks like. All right, so let me see. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to measure that using my measuring tape. Oh, Shatika, good to see you. That's the biggest knitting stick I've ever seen. I think it's the biggest one you can buy. It's pretty big. Yeah, so it's 50 millimeters. Millimeters, yes. All right, so yeah, this is huge. Okay. So now I know. Let me see how many stitches. It was 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 stitches. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. So 5 inches should, I mean, 5 stitches should be 3 inches. That's what it is. 5 stitches is 3 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, yeah, I'm a little bit large there. So I have about 4 inches. So that means I need to use a smaller hook or a smaller needle, or I need to use, knit more tightly, or use smaller yarn. And that will get me to the 3 inches. So you see I'm about 4 inches there for the 5 stitches, 2, 4, 5. Yeah. But that's pretty interesting that I'm close to the measurements, but not really. All right. Well, I'm going to do a couple more rows, but I just figure I figure these are interesting. Yeah. I found these are discontinued. So this lady had cleared out her what did she do? She cleared out her, my goodness. I can't even talk. This woman cleaned out her supplies and she sold them, and she had all this stuff in trailers. She had stuff in trailers just coming out the wazoo. And she just went and she just said, "Hey, go in my trailer. If there's anything you want, just buy it." So I saw these and I went, "Ooh, these are crazy." You know what I mean? They're ridiculous. Let me see. I don't know if you can read the end. It's hard to see this, but it says jumbo jets or what they call these. Yeah, and these are 50 millimeters. So, and I don't know how long these are. Let me measure. These are, just out of curiosity, I never did measure the length. They're not real long, at least by knitting needle standards. Yeah, they're like 14 and a half inches, almost 15. And just a little short of 15 inches. And I forget how that breaks down in centimeters, but that's what it looks like. So that's it. So this is very interesting. So now I know that I probably only need to do probably one layer of yarn here. I have it, like I said, I have 2 different ones doubled up. And I don't know if you can see that, but I have one here and then one here. And these are 2 jumbo or bulky yarns. So I'm going to do one more row and then we'll see how it goes. So how's it going, Shatika? And peace and blessings to you. Thanks for coming. But I'm going to just do a few rows of this and see, because like I said, these clothes were made in the 70s. And like I said, people were so much smaller. Oh, come on. People were so much smaller. So this actually may fit the way it is now. It's a little bit big. It's about an inch bigger than it has to be. So that's probably okay. Because, I'm not big, but I'm not small. So I'm in the middle. And I'm probably a little bigger than those 1970s ladies. They were really small. And I'll show you a picture of some of the stuff that's in here. And this is not my I bought this pattern book. And let me know if this noise is driving you crazy, because it might. And then let me know what you were up to today. And what are you going to do tomorrow? That's always the question. So I'll tell you, my husband and I are just chilling tomorrow. He doesn't like the crowd, so we're avoiding the parades and all that stuff. And the crazy firework people. So that's what we're doing. Now let's see. I lost track of rows. Is that 3 or 4? Let me see. So this is supposed to be 2 inches, I think. So what does this say? 5 rows is 2 inches. I think I did 4 so far. I really wasn't counting. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 4. Oh yeah, so this is way too big. So right now I'm at 3 inches, and I've only done about 4 rows. So now I know I can definitely use less yarn. I could probably just use 1. But this is how you figure out like how big how they call it gauge, and then if you're going too big or too little, and that's the way it's supposed to look. It comes out this mesh. Oh hey, there's Bila, hand pink waving. How are you doing? So do you like these 50 millimeter knitting needles? Is that insane? That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, they're big. So anyway, I'm doing a little gauge swatch there, and so far this is too big. So well, according to the pattern, yeah, but that's nice. Okay. So, but anyway, it's just nice to have a few minutes of, you know, peace and quiet at night. My husband's watching like a noisy movie upstairs. I'm going to do one more row. But I think, yeah, this is definitely too big. So I have to use less yarn. So Jane, I'm doing I'm doing two homespuns held together, which I think I need to do a little bit less. Probably need to do a homespun and something thinner. But this is coming out. It's going to be pretty big. Now I'm going to see. I think I might just make it anyway and see how big it comes out. And then if it's like real big, it's probably going to be the right size, I'm going to guess. But then, but anyway, but this lady divested of all her crafting supplies. And so she has these, she had a bunch of knitting needles and a bunch of crochet hooks. Nothing fancy, but this one has been discontinued. Like the company that made this, it was a yarn company that made these knitting needles, and they're so long out of business, I believe. I don't even know how many years, but that's how big the item comes out. It comes out very meshy. And I think my tension's okay. Like it could be a little better. This is like working with these big needles are like this is like ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's like too much of a good thing. But anyway, there it is. Yes. So knitting with a weapon. That's correct. I cannot carry this on the airplane because guess what? Yeah, I would get pulled over by the security. And then Miguel, hi Kelly, and everyone just got in from church. Oh boy. Okay. If they were made out of wood, you could hunt vampires. Nice. That's nice. Okay, so I'm going to show you what these like. So I'll show you what these dresses look like. And I'm going to hide the pattern, but there it is. So this is what these dresses look like. And so they're real short. But I thought it was cute for the summer, right? Little short dress. You could make this longer, a little longer down to the knee a little bit more. But this is kind of a nice, it has a little puffy sleeve. And I thought they say that you can make one of these in a day or in a few hours. Yeah, I don't know. But I can see why. Yeah, because this is coming out pretty big. Now, unfortunately, this company, it's called Reynolds. It was called Reynolds. Reynolds. It was Reynolds Yarn. They were out of New York City. And I don't know when they went out of business. But they made this book and I thought it was cool. All right. So anyway, so I just wanted to make the gauge and then see what it looks like. But I'm like an inch longer and I'm an inch wider. So, if you're a little bit bigger than these ladies in the picture, which most people are, this would probably not fit if I made it to size, but this actually looks pretty good. But yeah. But I think knitting this homespun is much better. Yep. But yeah, I could hunt some vampires. That's really cool. All right now. So anyway, so yeah, the holidays, my husband and I really have no life, so I don't think we're doing anything exciting. I wish we were. Because they always have they used to have this huge, used to be free. I don't know if it's free anymore, but in Philadelphia they always have if you know who the Roots are, they always perform, and Jill Scott and Music Soul Child and other people, but mostly people from Philadelphia that always come by and perform. And I used to go, not all the time, but I went about 4 or 5 times down for the 4th of July, and it was fun. And it was really good music, and there was not a bad seat in the house. And they do it right on the parkway near where Rocky does his run, not too far from the art museum in that area. It's pretty cool. But anyway, I have not been there in years, but it used to be fun. We used to have a ball running down. At least I did. I used to go by myself, which is crazy. Yeah, that's what I did. Go by myself, and then go back. Here we go. Go by myself, get a picnic chair, bring some water, talk to random people, celebrate the 4th, and then keep it moving, and then go home. I know, right? Crazy things you do when you're young. Yeah. Now, let's see. Yeah, those look nice. So yeah, so this is isn't that a cute dress? I know, and I was thinking for the summer that would be nice because I don't have any. I don't have any dresses. I'm like one of those people who just never dresses up anymore. So it's kind of tragic. Like I feel like I need to do that every now and again, you know. But that doesn't look half bad. I'm kind of digging this, you know. Hmm. Yes, but those are cute dresses, and there's other ones too, but they're a little bit heavy. So I thought this was a little bit thinner, so it would look nice. But I don't know. So I don't know if Dave, if you're still here. I saw there's some karaoke people on now, and I said, "Darn it!" I was hoping. I don't know if I'm gonna be how long I'm gonna be on, but I just figure I would pop in and just do a couple rows and just have a good laugh at these ridiculous knitting needles. So, what do you think, Vila? You gonna get these now? Now they have these. I think Susan Bates has some big knitting needles like this, and also I think I don't know if it's Michael's. Yeah, I think Michael's has the big 50. Sorry about the noise here. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I hate the sound of this. Wait, hold on. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay, let's get back in here. Oh, I see what I did. I made a boo boo there. I slipped a stitch, but I can fix it. It's right there. Fell off. There we go. Yeah. Anyway, so now I know I just got to use smaller yarn, and I'm going to have to be a little tighter with my knitting. So I'm not real tight right now. It's very loose. Sorry about that. Come on. And I'm doing two at one time, which is very high risk for the camera. Yes. All right. Do one more row. But I think this looks good. I may have to make a shawl like this because they gave me some. My knitting group gave me a lot of homespun, and I said if I do this with these knitting needles, I could probably crank out a few shawls really quick. So let's see here. Yeah, this is looking good. There we go. Yeah, look how big that is. Oh, we're growing. Oh, you have 4 pairs? What? Can you show the skein? Oh, okay, sure. So this is just homespun. Everybody hates this. The crocheters don't like this. But I don't have the label because the lady that donated this yarn has like she had like 75 or 100 skeins of this. Let me see if I can change the view here. Give you a little closer. There we go. There's the yarn there. But homespun comes in all these colors, and it's pretty thick. If you look at the thickness on there, and it's like a boucle. It's got this little nappy kind of presentation there, but it's cool. Oh, hey, Renee, good to see you. But what I did was I put two together. So one is like a lighter color. Let me see if I can get that in there. It's hard to see. Let me grab the other one. It rolled. So anyway, so she took all the labels off of this yarn. Ugh, and then she passed away. I know. It's like, why? I know. See, and then she's got me thinking about so what I'm doing is I'm putting these two colors together. And then when you put these two together, it looks like this. Isn't that funny? And it almost doesn't even look like what it is. So you see, so these two, this one's got like brown and grays. This one has a little bit of purple. I don't know if you can see that. Purple and gold and some blue. And then when you put it together, it looks almost pink. It's weird. But that's what I'm doing, and I'm just sort of seeing what it'll look like. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's see if I can get back. There we go. Is that better? Or is that better? I don't know. Oh, Boss Lady Denise, good to see you. All right, let's try it this way too. So I'm playing around with Restream. So this is the experimentation that's going on. How are you doing? Good to see you. Okay. So I have this pattern here, and they say you can make a sweater or a dress in like a day. But I think they're right because this is so big. You can really knock these out. Okay. So I'll show you just how crazy these are. Let me make sure. I made this tail way too long. Gotta get it out the way there. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to try this out. And these are 50 millimeters, which is big for all the metric people out there. And I'm holding 2 strands of yarn together, which is making it even bigger. But I said, I'm going to try this out and we'll see. And this is metal, so I apologize for the clinking, but this is real life here. Clink, clink, clink. Yeah. Okay. But I'm in the laboratory again. So I was trying to finish some other stuff and I just could not get anything done today. So I said, well, I'm going to look at this pattern and see how it goes. Yes. Well, Natural Nene. Good morning. Good evening. Oh, my goodness. Yes. Well, let us know how you're all doing. And hopefully you had a decent day today. And tomorrow's the big party in the USA. Let's see. There we go. So this is what it looks like. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. There we go. Looking good. Mm-hmm. Yes. Nice. But anyway, so this is homespun. Oh, sometimes in life we have to go big. Nice. Those are huge. Yeah, 50 millimeters. I don't know. It's hard to see. It's I'm banging this on the table. I don't want to do that. But this is what it looks like. And these are called Reynolds Jumbo Jets. And they're about 15 inches long. So they're real short. Yeah, they're real short. Oh, you had your street party already? Wow. So I don't know what to do. You guys you're already beating me on the party. And see, and I think my husband and I aren't going to make the party, which is very sad. I kind of want to go. Kind of want to do some, you know what I might do? Let me see if that'll help you here. The count. 6, 8. Okay. Very good. All right. So we're good here. Oops. I just lost one here. Okay. Let me switch around here. See, every time I turn this, I always knock one off. There we go. Hang on a second. But yeah, that's crazy. So we'll see. So I don't know. We're gonna try. Oh, you're staying your butt home tomorrow. They're like vampire steaks. Yeah, that's what Jane Vila said too. She said vampire steaks. Yeah, she said if these were wood, I would probably get flagged on the plane if I had this. Yes, and you're staying your butt home. Oh, here already, 4th of July. Right. Okay, 4D. So how's everything going over there? And we're all sort of here, playing around with the I guess everybody, the news. There's been a lot going on in the news today. It's a busy news day in the United States. So hold on, let me fix this. I keep dropping this last stitch here, as I always do. Let me try this one again. Hang on. Gotta pull this tight. But yeah, busy news day. So hopefully tomorrow will be nice and restful for most people. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's what most people will do. They'll have a nice day. And let me see if I can pull this in a little tighter. I'm getting looser and looser. There we go. I'll just keep going, keep chit-chatting. But that's amazing. So then what are you guys going to do tomorrow? Because I know there's a lot of parades and stuff, but my husband doesn't want to go to any of that. I always like to do that every now and again, just once in a while. Stay for the one place they're doing theirs at 10 a.m., which is pretty early. So by noon, they should be all finished, But that's what I was thinking. Would be fun, but the crowds are always, interesting. And that's what's stopping us from going, I think. Let's see. If my mom were alive, she would be 104. Oh, wow. 104. Yeah, so my mom is, how old is she? I think she's 80. What year is this? This is 05. So she's like 85. Yeah, so 104 is like way more. like another 20 years. That's amazing. Yeah. But there you go. There's another row there. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're gonna. Oh, yeah. I don't blame you. Okay, so you're gonna work on the yard and hang out in the pool. Yeah, that's float in the pool. That sounds really good. I'll tell you, it's gonna be. I think it's only gonna be in the 80s here, so that's kind of like that's pretty mild and not real exciting, you know. But let's see here. Nice. Now let's see. Oh, it's raining cats and dogs. That's what 4T's saying. Around the evening, kind of stuck in the house. Yeah, that's no fun when you get stuck in the house, you know. But we've been sort of dealing with storms like that too. You know, it's been kind of brutal. Very, very, you know. My yard. Well, actually, I went by somebody's yard today, and they had a puddle still. But my yard, the bottom of my yard is pretty wet. So I am not. I need to cut the grass down there, but I know I'll get stuck in the mud if I mess around and go down there. So I'll probably do that by hand. And I have a tractor, but I'll probably have to do that one by hand. So the tractor, because it will get stuck. I've had that happen too many times, especially when it rains, because we've had so much rain. So much rain. All right. Well, this is interesting. So now I know what I'm dealing with in terms of this swatch. Now I'm wondering if I do, instead of these two number 5s, I think this is number 5 or number 6. This is the homespun. I always have to look it up. But the lady, she didn't have a label on this. So unfortunately, I have no idea if it's a 5. I think it's a 5 or it's a 6 probably. 5 or 6. And then when you hold them both together, it's probably about a 7 bulky, give or take. So I may have to do that. I'll have to make some adjustments on this, but I don't mind the way this looks. In fact, I might just give this to the people and make a shawl. Like just keep going. You know what I mean? It'll be like a little small shawl. Yeah, I'll just make it long, long, long. Oh, hey, Michelle. Welcome in. Good to see you. But 7, you work, and Renee said she works 7 hours in the yard the last 24 hours. You get a little OCD. Cool. I need to have you come over. Come over and take care of our yard. Yeah, we just, oh my gosh. It rained yesterday, you know, pretty heavily. I'm just pulling some yarn out here because, boy, you go through. Side note, I have a feeling these skeins are going to be, I'm going to be blowing through these. Yeah. This isn't half bad. I'm kind of digging this. Okay. But I'm seeing now that you really don't need a, yeah, and it's probably, I'll probably finish. Like I said, if I do this for the rest of the evening and talk a little bit less, I could probably knock out something here in a pretty short period of time. Let's see if you can see myself here. Yeah. It's pretty good. And then Michelle, you're probably passing out from doing those nightly shows. That's a lot of work, I'm telling you. Yeah, I had a little bit of a nap today. I had to take a nap. But I feel I have a little second wind. Not a big wind, but a little wind. So we'll see. All right. So that's another row. Let's see. We'll turn this. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is getting real big. But now I see why they say you could make a little outfit. Also great here. Okay, those needles are really big. Yes. Yes, they are. Yeah, these are 50 millimeters. And they're 15 inches long. So pretty fat. And I don't know what kind of unfortunately the company that made these, they discontinued all their yarns. And I saw a couple on eBay, but they actually have 3 different yarns that they're putting together to make these little outfits. And I said, let me just see if I can guesstimate what one looked. So one looked kind of like homespun, but a lot of them, some of them have like alpaca, some of them have wool and wool blends. and they're just very unusual, and they're definitely discontinued. So I don't know. So I figured I'd do the homespun because the homespun looked like one of them. And then another one was mohair. I mean, just really random. And it was all made in France, really fancy yarn. And I said, darn it, But there's a little bit hanging out on eBay, a little bit on Ravel. It was no, not a Ravel. Well, there's on Ravelry in terms of to tell you what size they are, but it's so discontinued. So I'm really sort of doing an experiment, you know. And I saw the picture of the one, and the one kind of looked like this guy here, but then the other two were thinner. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm very confused. I don't know. So anyway, but I figure what I'll do is I'll just do a little bit of a swatch so you can sort of see what it looks like, and then I can just adjust it. I'll have to find something a little more. I don't know, a little thinner because the gauge. I'm like too big. Oh yes, you're getting tougher. LOL. That's good. All right. And there's Zach. Hello. Welcome in. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the story. So this is what you do when you. But I don't see that there's a good substitute for this yarn. There really isn't. So I'm just I'm faking my own. But like I said, finding substitutions is not easy. I'm finding, especially when you're looking at these old yarns from like the 60s and the set. Well, this was the 70s. I want to say. Yeah, no, this was 60s actually. So that yarn is long gone. Yep. Long gone. I think they said it ended in 67 or 68. It's a long time ago. I said, well, missed that one, Yeah, I was not buying yarn. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's crazy. That's cool. Yeah. Let's see. When you first came in, I waved hi at my screen, and then I'm like, Kelly can't see you. That is true. And if I could see you, wouldn't that be freaky? Be like, hey Zach, and you'd be like, you have to, be appropriately dressed, comb your hair, all that stuff. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, it would be nice, like if you could almost see, like television. You see each other, but you can't. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's getting big, pretty big there. So that's not bad for about 10 minutes, maybe. I did more talking than crocheting or knitting. Sorry, more knitting, but I had my actually I had my crochet class today, and I'm helping out this one lady because she had this poor lady. She's doing this, she's trying to instruct like 20 people. You can't do it. One person. It's pretty hard. And they're all new crocheters or people that haven't crocheted in at least, 20, 30 years. And they're like, I forget how to do it. And I said, I understand. 30, 40 years is a long time to try to go back and, when you haven't done it in that long. And some of the women are brand new. Yeah. Brand new crocheters, never crocheted, which is pretty good. Oh, there's Donzel. Hello. Good to see you. Oh, they did not lie when they say you can finish it. I know. I didn't think it was. I thought, you read these things, you go, uh-huh. Let's see. Right now, you would see me in my sweatpants and a t-shirt. Okay, that's not bad. I remember on that show, The Goldbergs, the father used to come in the house and he would just have his tidy whities on and a shirt. and everybody in the house would be like, Dad, put your pants on. Which I thought was hilarious. Yeah, this is getting big. All right now. Oh, there's Trish. Hello. Good to see you. How are you doing? I'm doing some massive knitting needles here. All right. And I'm trying to work with this crazy, crazy yarn. So what are you up to, Donzel? What are you up to, Trish? Anything new since the other day? Yeah, there's a lot of, it's funny, like I was sort of cleaning up some yarn stuff, and I was watching some people, tonight on YouTube, and then I forget what the heck happened, and I got a phone call, and that was kind of the end of my watching. It's usually what happens. Somebody calls, and then you're like, okay, and then you're done. Yeah, that just wrecked everything. Well, that's a huge yes. This is 50 millimeters, and this I found this pattern book where they said, you can knit an outfit in a day or a little bit under, maybe in a few hours. And now I'm seeing that if I was talking less, I probably could knock this out a little faster. But I was trying to just see, I don't have the right yarn for this. And but this isn't half bad. I mean, it's not crazy, It's not crazy like it looks okay, it's not half bad. So I'm kind of liking this. But this, I did this probably 15 minutes. And I'm going to finish this shawl. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish knitting this, and then I'll donate this shawl cuz they gave us this donated yarn, which is cool. And then at least now I know what I need to do to if I do make these dresses like that. I'm a little bit big on the gauge, but that's okay. So this is just, well, originally I was looking at these little dresses, and I'll show this to the people that just came in real quick. They had these the yarn company that had these stitches, the yarn company that came up with these needles put these had these little dresses. And I thought this was pretty cool that you could make this, in a day or so. And I see why, because it's just a shift. It's a little bit short, and they just, they're holding a couple of strands of the yarn together. Yeah, so I think what they did was, I don't know if they have. See, it's funny, on the women I can't see anything, so I don't know if they lined these. That's why I have to find out. Yeah, but I'm knitting really really loose because I thought my gauge would be bad. But look at this one. I thought my gauge would be bad. There it is. Yep. So this is a little bit short as well, but I know that these women are kind of small, like from the 70s. So I figured, it. But I don't know if you can see this. They don't look naked or anything. Like she's got something on under this white one. Oh, there we go. So I don't see anything bad, happening there. So I'm not sure if they lined these or what they did. But see that one there? It doesn't look lined, but it doesn't look like she's, pretty modest. So I figured I'd try it. I was going to try it just to, do it for giggles and see what happens. But I noticed that none of because this company's been out of business so long, their products are discontinued. So you have to sort of find your way to find something that's close to what it is. Yeah, but it looks like no, this one would be see through. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, or a petticoat. That's right. But the ones on there, so like I said, I think my gauge is a little too big. Like this should be smaller, and that's the problem. And that's what I was trying to find out. Like, am I knitting too loosely? Is this big? So clearly, this is way too big. Yeah, I would have to make it smaller, and then find the yarn because they actually were holding three strands together. And I said, I don't have any of that yarn. So that's where we're up. What we're up to today. Yeah. But I said, let me just see with this homespun. I don't know if you've ever used homespun, Trish, but this is Lion Brand homespun, and it's the crocheters hate it, but I think for knitting it's not bad. Oh, 70s before fast food, right? Right. Use smaller needles, yeah. But these were the needles that they used for those dresses. Isn't that funny? These are the actual needles. And the company was called Reynolds, and it's called Reynolds. And but like I said, they're out of business. But I'll have to definitely, fix my tension and all that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But I have to, I have to try to find something closer to that yarn than what I have. Oops, let me just knock this off here. Yeah, put that in there. But isn't that funny? But yeah, I mean this got pretty big pretty fast, So it's not bad. I'm kind of digging it. I said that's really pretty. I mean, for a quick thing. Yeah. Yep. Oh, let's see. You made a crochet cardigan out of homespun, only a 5 millimeter, right? And this is 50. Ah, yeah, that's too much. And I knew this would be kind of big. Of course, I just knocked this off the loop again. Every time I turn, I'm having issues here. But this is pretty cool. But I do like it. I kind of like the colors. Well, you can't really tell what the colors are, but it's interesting whenever you put this homespun together. It comes out very, very interesting, Let me fix this here. Keep losing my. Yeah, here we go. All right. Keep dropping my last stitch here. It's driving me crazy. Here we go. Keep dropping it as I turn it. Okay, so I gotta stop turning. Slow this down. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know what I mean? Pretty interesting. And I've got this doubled up too, which is funny. Those big needles have potential. I know. I'm kind of liking them. It's interesting. Like I said, I never saw them before. And like I said, this woman when she was cleaning out her stuff, she just handed me like a bin full of needles. And I was like, she's like, here, a couple dollars, just take them all. I'm just trying to get rid of this stuff. And I was like, okay. And I said, one day I'm going to use this, but usually they use this to make they call it broomstick lace. And I don't have anything lately that I've made with broomstick lace. Oh, here we go again. Slipping off the needle here. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. But you can make big lacy things with these. And but knitting them like this is crazy. I know it's pretty crazy. Crazy stuff. Yeah, but it's interesting. I'm enjoying it. Let's see. 7 millimeters might be plenty, right? Yes. That's what Trisha's saying. And then she's saying very small hooks and needles and very big hooks and needles hurt my hands. Oh, okay. Ooh. Yeah, this isn't too bad so far, but I've only been doing this for maybe 30 some minutes, a little bit longer. But this is interesting. I mean, like I said, I figured I'll give it a shot. We'll see what's happening, It's really crazy. But I think this would be like a nice little, you could make a quick little shawl out of this. And and for the summer, it's a nice airy one. So you won't be hot. Because that's the whole thing. I don't know what the temperature is down there, but it's been in the 90s here. 90s Fahrenheit. And I forget what that would be in Celsius. Yes. Looks painful? Oh no. No, actually it's okay. It's actually not too bad. I'm actually surprisingly happy with it. Yes. Yes, yes. That's pretty cool. All right now, let's see here. Did I miss anything else that looks painful? Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Cool. Let me check. Let me catch up with the chat here. Yeah, it could make a nice bag. Yes, that's what I was thinking too. It'd be a nice bag for your what's that called? The like the beach bag. Yep, that would be nice. And what else? Yes. But I think this could be a little cover up, if you made it a little bit wider. You could make a little cover up as long as you have to bring it out to here for sure. And but yeah, and this is just a swatch, this is really I didn't even really I forget how many they say to cast on. Like for this, they were saying the one. How many did they say to cast on? This one said 26. 26 or 32, somewhere in between there. And you do stockinette stitch. Yeah, so that's this one here. This is they say cast on. So the back they say cast on 26 and the front you cast on 28. That's interesting. But yeah, there's that one there. But that's what it would, so that's how it would go there. So it's interesting. So I only cast on about uh 9. I think I did 9. Yeah. Yep, 9. So there it is. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And they said not to slip the first one, which is interesting. Yep. So that'd be a nice little, summer top, which is good. And a slip over dress would be plenty. It would be pretty like that at the beach. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Beachy. So something beachy. So that's pretty cool. But that's the only thing I think I would do, with this thing. But like I said, I would love to find that yarn. But I saw only one out of the 3. And that was the thing. They had written these patterns to use their products. And that's the only sad part. I'd have to really do some experimentation to find the right, secret sauce to make it work. Yep. Yeah, but I think summer top would be really nice. Yeah, that's my jam. I think that's the answer for this thing. But I could make a little shawl with this. I'd just do like a rectangular shawl, like a wrap, or a stole. This could be a little wrap. And the ladies in my group do prayer shawls. And if I had cast on a little more, like actually, I'm still going to donate it, I think. But this will be a smaller one. I'll have to make it just really long so they could put it around themselves, maybe, a couple of times. But you see how big this got. I mean, it's pretty big there. It's almost covering the table. There it is. Yep. So that's good. So let's see. So right now where you are, it's Friday here, so it's already Saturday. Wow, that's crazy, Trish. I keep forgetting you guys come from the future. That's pretty cool. Australia. That's really nice. So are you working on any other knitting? I saw I forget what you were doing the other day. You were doing a couple things. Yeah, I saw the hexy thing. That was pretty exciting. Yeah, the hexy. I haven't done one of those yet. I keep looking at them and going, I'm going to try one. Oh, and there's Aisha. Hello. Good to see you. Aisha's handmade items. So what are you making? So I think this is going to become a shawl. It will be, yeah. And this is more like this is just an experiment using these massive needles. And what's interesting is you do get a pretty big item really fast. Yep. And if I were actually, knitting a little bit faster, this would, I'd be a lot further along. I've been sort of running my mouth. So how are you doing? And how is life? And anything new you're working on, Aisha? And I have to ask you if you came on. Have you been on lately? I have not been on myself lately. I mean, watching as much the last couple of days. So I'm really out of the loop for the YouTube. But I've been running around with the family, which is good. It's been fun. Yep. Oh, yep. And thank you to everybody who supports the channel. We really appreciate you. Michelle and Renee are one of my members. Two of my members. Blah, blah, blah. 4T is a member. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Trying to keep it going. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. There we go. So that's another row. Oh, you did go live. Yeah, I saw you go live. I forget when. It might have been a couple weeks ago now. But I don't know if you've come on since then, probably. But you made some jewelry. Ooh. Yeah, I think the metal is making it a little bit slippery. It is. Yeah, I definitely think. And they do have plastic ones of these now. But when these came out, the aluminum was the crazy part. Yeah. It's a little slippery. And I'm not really pulling the stitches as tightly as I could. Probably should. But now I know. But this is cool. Like I said, this is a pure experiment. That's looking okay. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So Aisha went live. Nice. So are you coming back, Aisha? Or are you gonna? You're still working those fairs? Craft fairs. Oh my gosh, I didn't think of the word. Craft fair. I know you had a few of those coming in. That's exciting. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I was a little bit faster. I could sell some stuff, but I don't. I should. But I've been donating a lot and doing that. Yep. It's been my thing. Anyway, there's another row. So there we go. Let me flip this over. Move this down a little bit. All right. Yep, yep, yep. This is nice. So yeah, so for those dresses, yeah, I'd have to cast on quite a few more, but this is not half bad considering I'm just pulling out some yarn here on the yarn balls here. Mm-hmm. Let's see, where are we? Oh, we're almost at an hour. Wow. That's crazy. Let me just make sure I'm just checking the stream. We're looking good. Oh, Aisha said yes. I'll have to wait until she lets me know when the craft fair will be. Yeah. Those I know they're starting. Like a lot of the I think I missed about 3 of them already. And there's gonna be more. I mean, there's definitely there's a big one coming up in Lancaster. I want to say in like a week or two. And there's one in Pittsburgh coming up, I saw. And I'm trying to think what else. Those are the only 2 that I saw lately. And I don't know about Philly. I'm sure there are some, but I just haven't not like I said, I've really not followed the fairs like I used to be all over, always scouting them out. But this this summer has been weird. Like I just have not felt like going out to those. But I like the look, just for funsies. And that's what I always just like to see what people are doing. But I've been playing around with a little bit of amigurumi and stuff like that. I'm just trying all kinds of things right now. So I'm just really I'm not saying not bored with what I was doing, but I'm just trying to get more stuff in there. See. But that's good. Yeah. Oh yeah, I should show you these. I finally finished these other things. Hold on, let me grab these real quick. But I'll show you these the amigurumi kit that I got from Five Below. I'll show you that. Let's see. All right. So these are knitted also. Yeah, they have some I forgot to show this the other day, but here we go. So this is a juice box. And it's the OJ. But anyway, this was Five Below. And they give you everything that you need in these little kits. And it's just garter stitch, nothing fancy. But I thought this was adorable. So there's that guy. There's like a little juice box. And then this one here are the cherries. And they have a little face on them. And they're just like glued on. But, for somebody who's like a beginner knitter, these are really cute. And it's got a little leaf there. But I thought these were adorable. Yep. So I did these the other day. And this took like no time at all. But I thought that was pretty funny. But they have some other kits. They have some crochet kits. And they were only like $3. No, they weren't crazy expensive. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Isn't that cute? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. But like I love the little faces. Like, see, I wish I could make that on my own. You know what I mean? And these little smiley faces. But yeah, these are cute. So yeah, so Five Below's the one store that they just do weird stuff. But now, of course, their prices are going up too. Like the Dollar Tree. It's no longer the Dollar Tree. But they do. The kits are really cute. And I'm surprised that they weren't really tough. But they give you these ridiculously small knitting needles, and that's okay. Whoops, I'm just dropping this. They give you like a really small knitting needle. And but it's the right size for that piece there. You know what I mean? But those are really cute. And so that's the other thing. So like I said, I'm just experimenting very random stuff, which is fun. Yeah. So you do one little project, and you try to do something bigger. And I'm still doing my Doctor Who scarf, which is still growing, but not like this thing. This is really fast. So I may have to try something. I have to find the right yarn for these guys, and just maybe something a little bit. I have to do a smaller thing, smaller yarn, I think. But I like the fact that like I said, this thing's getting big and it's growing, and pretty quick. So that's another row. But yeah, we're growing. That's adorable. Yes, thank you. Isn't that cute? Yeah. So if you get to Five Below near you, Aisha, check it out. And they're kind of in the front of the store. They don't put them with the rest of the crafts. It's weird. But I just thought they were cute, and I said I'm going to try these out and see what's happening. So okay, so we made it to an hour. So what I'll do a couple more rows, and then I think I'm gonna bow out and say Happy Independence Day for the people in the U.S. and happy weekend for everybody. Everybody else. Hang out with the family, eat some good food. Get outside and have a little bit of fun when the rain stops. 4T. 4T's got a big rainstorm. And we had one the other day, pretty bad storm. And I noticed in our area, people are losing trees. So the trees are starting to come down. So that's not good. Yep. So that's what we're kind of going, okay. We got that situation happening. But I can't wait till the weather settles. Like right now, I feel like it's been so unsettled for Pennsylvania. Like we usually don't get crazy storms, but it's been a mess. It's been really crazy here. So yeah, we got to figure out what's going on here. Let me pull this a little tighter. Yes. Okay, there we go. That's better. But yep, we're getting there. Okay. Oh, okay. Renee said when Five and Below came out, I used to say it was 5 times better than the dollar store. Right. It is interesting. Yeah. But now some of the stuff in there is $10. I'm like, woo! Not that that's expensive, but it's just, when it used to be 135. Now some of that stuff I think is up to. They had a couple of things that were $25. You know what they had? They had turntables a while back. Now it's been probably maybe a year now. And those turntables were $25 or $27, something like that. But then, then they have pencils and paper and art supplies. So you can get all kinds of good stuff in there. But the fact that they have these amigurumi kits were cracking me up, And everybody, like a lot of the the young people are really into the amigurumi for sure. And I saw some girls, they had some stuff with crochet. So they had like a donut and some other mostly food related. They must know me. Yeah. Everything's food. Got to do the food. But it was cute. Yeah. I love all these little things. So it's been fun. So I could just do this myself, but I just sometimes I like to have a kit so I don't have to think. Yeah. But Five Below is interesting. They used to have a lot of candy. Now I don't eat candy, but I like to look at all the packaging because it's all bright colors. But they've really cut back on the candy. It's kind of sad. Like it's not fun to look at anymore. They used to just they would have weird, the old style candy bars, and sort of like Cracker Barrel. I don't know if you have Cracker Barrel near you, but Cracker Barrel used to have all that vintage looking stuff. And then they had some of those. They have those licorice candy and all that stuff. And Swedish Fish and some other stuff like that. But I don't know. I haven't been to Cracker Barrel in years now. Yeah. But I heard they're cutting back on all that stuff too. So I'm very sad. I used to just like to go and gawk at all the tchotchke. Let's see. Oh, you like Daiso? Yeah. See, we don't have those here, but I know what that is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's like I said, the vintage. Well, I don't know. See, we have No, wait a minute. Family. No, no. Family Dollar is gone. We had Family Dollar. A lot of those closed, and then Dollar General opened up, and they have a lot of the same stuff that Dollar Tree has. But actually, Dollar Tree is kind of Dollar General. That's what Vila was telling me. She said, "Yeah, it's almost like they're the same store because they have some of the Dollar Tree craft items, but then they have then the other stuff, like the stuff that costs more than 5 or whatever it is. Yeah, I think just reminds me of living in Japan. Yeah, they have cool stuff in there. Yeah, I've been in. I went in one. I can't remember where the heck I was. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked all the stuff. Like I like, the Japanese stuff. I like all the chopsticks and the little bento boxes and the rice cookers, like all that stuff. Anything that's like food related, I'm all over it. But anyway, there's that. That looks pretty good. I think we're doing okay. I'll do one more row and I think I'm gonna call it for the evening. So, any announcements on you guys' channels before you want to leave? Before we leave, if only I could speak. So let's see. So I don't know. So tomorrow, believe it or not, is the flea market. They're actually having a flea market tomorrow, and I'm not sure if I'm up for. It's going to be crowded. It's going to be really crowded. But all the shops are going to be open in the flea market slash farmers market, and we were there last Friday. Yeah, we were there last Friday, and they said, "Yeah, we're going to be open." And I was like, "What in the world?" But I guess so. And a lot of people they do sell a lot of stuff on the holidays like that. But I'm going to be scouting out some yard sales, see what's happening. Not that I need anything, but I always just like to see what people have. You know what I mean? And none in the Northeast. That's what I thought. I thought it was out west somewhere. Yeah. Hmm. Yep. But I remember that. Yep. So there it is. So that's not bad. So for a little bit of time now, like I said, if I had been more focused, but you see how much I did here. This is pretty good. Kind of digging that. Yes. But there it is. Oh, none in Nebraska. Sorry. I forgot any is Nebraska. See, I'm bad reading. Yeah, none in Nebraska. Yep. And Dollar General used to be a lot different when I was a kid. Yeah, I know. Dollar General is weird. I don't know. See, you know what I did find out in my area? They donate the clothes that don't sell to the food bank, which I thought was ding, 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 ding. You know, thumbs up to the food bank. I love it. Yeah, Dollar General. And they also donate food too to the food bank, but they also do their clothing, which I thought was really nice. Pretty exciting. But yeah, so there's that. But anyway, so I don't know. Let me see how many inches. I'm gonna measure this real quick just for funsies. But compared to my usual work, it takes me a while. So I did 24 inches. Yeah, on this, which is pretty good. Oh, okay. You're sewing in your ends, Trisha's saying. Well, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Yeah. So, like I said, I think I'm going to stop right there, but I did 24 inches. So I have to say that's pretty good for me because I'm a little slower, but that's awesome. And this will be a nice little, I would say a little, yeah, little shawl. And I may even, pull this out a little bit more, but look how big that is. That is like, see, if I pull it this way, look at that. I could probably block this a little bit and it's big. So that's a pretty nice, little cover up. Yeah. If you're cold and actually if I made this a little bit longer next time, I'll add on more stitches. This could be a little sarong, for the beach. Like this is actually okay. I know, right? I love this. So this is cool. All right, so this is just some ideas. If you run across any of these in the thrift store, because I know Susan Bates makes these too. Um, but yeah, check it out. So I love this. This is not bad. I'm like, okay. Doesn't take much to excite, but that's the knitting needle there. I just wish I could get this. It's hard to read. Oh, yeah, there it goes. You might be able to get it. It's so hard, but it says here. It says Reynolds, and then it says Jumbo Jets. They call them Jumbo Jets, and that's what it is. It's pretty good. Yeah, not bad, right? Yeah, it looks pretty. Well, thank you. Yes. So I'm like, all right. Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate the compliments. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. So when I bring this in already done, they're gonna be like, "What?" I'm gonna make a couple of these for next week, and then I'm gonna surprise them and bring them in. So they're gonna be excited. Yeah, because the lady, like I said, she does it for her church, and man, they have had a lot of. Well, they use them as prayer shawls for people who are bereaved and going through bereavement, and they have gone through a ton of them, like over the last month or so. So it's amazing. So as many as, I haven't been able to make any, but now I'm good. Like this will be good. I'll be excited. Yes, could be a tent holder. This is true. Or like I said, vampire slaying tools. No, that's funny. And I'll show you the yarn one more time before I go. But this is the homespun. This is what it looks like. So I'm just holding two of these together. And this one's more pinkish and purple. Let me see. There we go. And this one's kind of has some light browns and a little bit of whites in there. But that's it. And the two of those come together and they make this, which is very strange, right? So there's a little bit of the blue on this side. Let me see if I flip it. Yeah, this is pretty blue. This one looks a little almost greenish. Brown on this side. But that's what these two colors together come out with. And I didn't realize that this homespun, that you could really put all this together. Because like I said, I never thought to put two of them together. And that's what the lady that had this thing that donated the yarn had tons of this homespun, and she had all the colors, so there's purples, blues, whites, browns, yellow, green. I mean, blacks even, so it does come out very, very interesting. Yeah, you can't get it anymore. Yeah, it's really interesting. But Lion Brand is still selling it. I just don't know. I don't think they ship anymore overseas. Like I noticed they're not big shippers of overseas. Yeah. But it's interesting. Well, thanks, Donzel. I appreciate it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. LOL 14. Yeah. That's good. But yeah, homespun. Homespun is the jam. So yeah, I'm kind of liking it now. See, I go through my ups and downs with the homespun. Some days I love it. Some days, I hate it. But let's see. I'm gonna do this. How do I do this? I'm gonna play a little bit. And thank you so much. Have a good evening. Peace and love. We'll see you. Bye bye.